You can hear me. Okay. Bună dimineața. So I'm very glad to be here today, and I will be talking also about technology, innovation, like the previous speakers, but I want to do it in a little bit more practical way, if possible. So, first of all, changing technology is the easy part. I've been working in this with a lot of companies, and it's so easy to buy the latest software, it's so easy to buy the latest equipment, but it's so hard to change attitude and behaviors. That is my work, is to change that. So, I want you to pick one piece of paper. You have it on your folder. You have a piece of paper, an A4, yeah, like that. Yes, please, pick it. We will do an exercise. It will be a fun exercise. Everybody has a piece of paper? Good. So, let's build a paper plane, okay? But not the paper plane that you know. You cannot start it. I will give you some rules. First of all, don't start. Second, don't look to the paper plane that the other person is doing. Second, follow only my instructions. I will give you clear instructions, and I will not give any other explanation. Finally, do it until the end, even if it turns to be a boat. Okay? Are you ready? Good. So, fold a paper in half on the longer side. Fold the paper in half in the longer side. Okay, that was easy. Next. Microphone? Yeah. On the top, fold the paper in 2 triangles towards the center. Okay? On the top, fold the paper in 2 triangles towards the center. Easy now. Fold it back. Fold it back. Okay? Continue. Don't look to your colleague. Do it yourself. It is fun if you do it like that. Turn back and fold over 2 new triangles on the top. Turn back and fold over 2 new triangles on the top. Fold it in half from the longer side. Fold it in half from the longer side. Okay? Going well, going well. Some are looking like boats, but no worry. Make a small turn in order to be able to grab. Make a small turn in order to be able to grab. Okay? Almost there, almost there. Open it again and fold symmetrically the parts not fold. Open it again and fold symmetrically the parts not fold. And finally, final touch. Make 2 cuts to make the flaps, whatever that is. Final touch, make 2 cuts to make the flaps, okay? So, now it's the photo moment, okay? What I want you to do is grab your, let's say, plane and put it up in the air, please. Up in the air, okay? Up in the air, up in the air. Everybody, up in the air. So, look to each other. Now you can look to the colleagues. Okay? So, what is the point of this? Of course it was to have fun, because it's early in the morning and you need some fun, but it's also to make this point. Think about this. When we start to try to disseminate knowledge inside companies, the easiest way, the more logical way, is to do some manuals. Okay? And manuals are like this. You do like this and you write instructions. You have quality manuals, you have security manuals. So let's talk about security. Can you imagine that everybody has a different interpretation of security in an emergency situation? It's interesting, isn't it? So, the thing is that we are doing like this because we didn't shift our behavior. Let me ask you one thing. How many video cameras are in this room? Who hasn't one? One person doesn't have a camera here, no phone, nothing. Ooh, one. You see? So, but I bet that, I would say that there is like 1.2 cameras per person in this room. Because some of us have a tablet, have a computer also, or has 2 smartphones, okay? So, I would say 1.2. And what we do is when we want to give simple instructions like this, we do menus, we do written instructions. Customer care, what we do, we give like the 13 steps that you have to follow to do something. And of course, there is a problem when you give 13 steps like this. I know that paper plane, I know how it is. For me, I wrote it perfectly because it's the way I understand it. But you did it all different. Why? Because you had also previous knowledge. What is a plane? You know what is a paper plane, so you try to do it as closer as to your own idea. So, let me do another way.
You have to have a piece of paper like this. You fold it in half, this way, long size, and then you fold a triangle on the top and another triangle on the top. And then fold it back in order to have like this. And then you turn it back, fold another triangle and another triangle. And then fold it in half. At this point, you have to fold, make a small turn with the paper like this, and open it again, holding like this. And you almost have a plane. Now you have to do the final touch. And the final touch is doing like this, and doing like this. So, you see, you have a plane like this. Now let's do the flaps. You can do it like this. It's simpler. And like this. And you have your paper airplane.
I bet that everybody would be able to do exactly the same plane. Exactly the same plane. And this video is on purpose very simple. It is my kid with my smartphone in my living room, and that's it. Nothing complicated. We have nowadays a very easy way to disseminate knowledge, and we are still doing the same way as it doesn't exist. We have to incorporate technology in our lives in order to be able to incorporate in our business. I'll give you an example. Some years ago, I got divorced and I didn't know how to cook. Okay? So my sister, like a good sister, said, well, I will give you the recipe for rice. That was as bad as I was. So I said no. I picked my smartphone and I put it to her, like checking what she was doing. And she was explaining at the same time. So now every time I do rice, I see her. Okay, it's simpler. The thing is that this kind of behavior for this kind of kids, and these are my kids, the millennials, this is the normal thing. They don't Google it, they YouTube it. They want to see how it's done. They don't want people to say to them how it's done. And this is a problem for you guys and for me, because we are coming from a generation that are not understood by this generation. They don't understand how we learn, how we interconnect, how we communicate. For them, it's really absurd the way we learn stuff. For many, many years, I was always telling that the wave was coming. The wave meaning that a change in terms of the way that we relate, that we learn, that we communicate was coming. And the wave was small, and now it's like this, a 30 meters wave from Portugal. And I want to tell you one thing. Change now, because it's your last call. Mulțumesc!